The Great Northern Adventure. Deep in the land of Norway, where the mountains touch the clouds, lived two friends named Saga and Magnus. Today was a very special day. They were putting on their warmest woolly sweaters and bright red hats. "Are you ready to explore our beautiful home?" Saga asked, clutching a small wooden compass. Magnus nodded with a big grin, pulling on his sturdy hiking boots. They stepped outside into the crisp, fresh air. High above them, the mountains looked like giant sleeping trolls covered in velvet green moss. "Look at the fjords," Magnus shouted, pointing toward the water. A fjord is a long, narrow arm of the sea with high cliffs on both sides, carved long ago by heavy ice. The water was as blue as a summer berry. As they walked along the rocky coast, a colorful bird with a bright orange beak hopped onto a stone. It was Peder the puffin. Peder flapped his wings and let out a happy squawk. Saga giggled and waved. "Hello, Peder. Are you catching fish in the cold water today?" Peder tilted his head, looking very proud of his tuxedo-like feathers. Magnus joined them, and Peder showed the children how the puffins dive deep into the fjord to find snacks. "The water is very deep here," Magnus explained to Peder. Even though it was chilly, the friends felt warm because they were moving and playing. In Norway, people love to be outside in nature, no matter the weather. They call this Friluftsliv. The friends hiked into a forest filled with tall pine trees that smelled like Christmas. Suddenly, they heard a loud crunch-crunch in the bushes. Out stepped a magnificent moose with giant antlers. In Norway, the moose is known as the king of the forest. Saga and Magnus stayed very still and quiet so they wouldn't scare him. After a long walk, it was time for a snack. Magnus pulled out some Brunost from his backpack. This is a special Norwegian brown cheese that tastes sweet, almost like caramel. Saga sliced the cheese into thin ribbons using a silver cheese slicer. She said, "this is the best fuel for explorers." As the sun began to set, the sky turned a soft shade of purple and pink. Saga and Magnus found a clearing and sat down on a soft reindeer skin rug. They were waiting for a magical show to begin. "Do you think we will see them tonight?" Magnus whispered, looking up at the first few stars twinkling in the dark. Suddenly, a ribbon of bright green light danced across the sky. Then came swirls of purple and blue. "The northern lights?" Saga cheered. These lights, called the Aurora Borealis, happen when tiny bits from the sun hit the air high above the earth. They looked like glowing curtains waving in the wind. Magnus and Saga started to dance, mimicking the lights in the sky. They twirled and hopped in the snow, their shadows stretching long behind them. The whole forest seemed to glow with a magical, emerald light. It was the most beautiful thing they had ever seen. When they finally got home, their cheeks were rosy and their hearts were full. They sat by a crackling fireplace, sipping mugs of hot cocoa. "Norway is a wonderful place," Saga sighed happily. Magnus nodded, leaning his head on her shoulder. "The best place in the world for an adventure."